Happy Sunday, everybody. Coach Larry, sorry for the long absence. Lots of things have been happening. Well, I promised to do Spiritual Sunday, so a couple weeks ago was a holiday called Simchas Torah, where you stop, you go to the end of Deuteronomy, and then go right back to the beginning of Genesis. I have another video that talks a little bit about the beginning, although some say that Genesis starts with an introduction to baseball. It says, in the beginning. All kidding aside, another thing, the week after we talk about that, there's the story of Noah and the ark. You know, that's kind of interesting because because you got, I mean, those of you that are pet lovers would love it. I mean, you got a family, mother, father, sons and daughters-in-law, no grandkids yet, and then you get all the animals all over the place on another floor that they gotta feed every day and take care of. I mean, it's kind of weird, but the one of the things that we learned from that is you got to feed the animals before you feed yourself. It's also better. It's also good practice because otherwise, if they don't eat, then they'll snap at you. But it's also very. It also talks. Well, you look at that, and you see that's you got to feed the pet before you feed yourself. But you talk about having to keep on an even keel when you have all those animals to take care of. I don't know how zookeepers handle it, let alone animal trainers in circuses. It's just amazing. But there's but if you look at elephants in the circus, and you'll notice that when you go to and you watch the elephant, and the elephant stays exactly where it is, and it's only being kept there by a wooden stake with a rope tied around one of its hind legs, and the elephant doesn't move. Now, anybody with that kind of a restraint can easily kick up his foot and just walk away or run away, carrying the stake and the rope with him. But the elephant can't. Why? The answer is very simple. It doesn't believe it can. Because when the elephant is very small, the young elephant uh, gets when they is trained because they have this big concrete rock with a chain and and attached to the ankle, and the elephant can't escape that. And you know what they say, an elephant never forgets. So never forgot that it couldn't escape the chain with the cement. So having a piece of rope with a stick, to the elephant it's like the chain with the cement. He can't because he doesn't because he doesn't believe he can. And that's kind of like how most of us live our lives. We have all these excuses, all these things that said was, oh, you can't do that. Or you had a bad experience trying to do something, and instead of trying again in a different way, you just, you have people around you saying, oh, you can't do this, you can't achieve that. And unless you have the ability to say, forget you, I'm going to do it, I'm going to try it again anyway, and defy the odds. And the people that make it in this world are the ones that don't believe the naysayers and basically go against conventional wisdom and prove the naysayers wrong. And there are many people that have done that. In the Bible, we have Moses doing that in spades all over the place. But even in modern society, we have a lot of people that have basically bucked the odds. Alexander Graham Bell, inventing the telephone. Thomas Edison, who was actually kicked out of school and was homeschooled by his mother because the school system believed that he was too stupid. Some stupid. He invented a lot of things and was one of the greatest scientists and inventors in the 20th century. The phonograph, the electric light bulb. I mean, all these things. There's a whole museum on Thomas Edison. I believe it's in Edison, New Jersey. New Jersey guy. Amazing stuff. There was also a movie about Thomas Edison where his mother was very, very sick, and the doctor needed to do some kind of surgery to save her life. But this was before he invented the electric light bulb. So what happened? He discovered reflections and how lights reflect off of those surfaces. So he went out, stole this big mirror, and put it against the fireplace and put candles in front of the mirror, and he had a big light that was flashed in that area. And he goes to the doctor and he says, I'm saving my mother's life. Is this enough light for you? And the doctor, and this was at night, and he says, this is amazing. So he went, he did the surgery, and she got better. And then he had to go back, take the mirror, and try to return it to the store that he stole it from. Problem was, on the way, he tripped over something and the mirror broke. And then his father saw that what he had done, didn't realize the reason behind it. And in that generation, child abuse was not frowned upon. You take the child to when the child misbehaves, you take him out into the woodshed, and you take a whip and you whip him. And the mother says, and his mother, knowing what her son did for her, she says, and told her husband, I'll give him the punishment. And so what she did was she snapped the whip, make it seem like she was hitting him, but she was just doing it on the ground. And and he would say, ow, and she would chastise him verbally, saying, learn your lesson. But inside the woodshed, not a mark. She didn't make a mark. In fact, he kissed her, and to show the love that he had for her. And this way, because she was actually, let's face it, stealing may be wrong, but at the same time, he was saving his mother's life. So, did he really do anything wrong? And that's the thing. There are shades of gray in everything. My another story I have, very interesting. My grandmother's third husband had a sister, and about a few months prior to my bar mitzvah, she was very sick in the hospital. Now, of course, my brother and I were kids. I was 12, and he was like 10 or 11. 11, I think. Or, yeah, he was 11. And what happened was they wouldn't allow us, because we were too young to go and visit our aunt or great aunt. My mother went, of course. My grandmother and her husband were there. Esther, husband, was there, of course. And my brother and I tried to find ways to sneak past the nurse that was ever vigilant in keeping us away. And after 10 or 12 attempts to go in and visit our Aunt Esther, on the 13th try, we made it. We were able to sneak past that nurse and get to that bedroom and go in there and put a smile on Esther's face, which is always a good thing. So I'm not a big advocate of breaking the rules, but once in a while, sometimes you got to break the rules, because if you're fulfilling a greater purpose. So I'm not advocating stealing, and I'm not advocating breaking and entering, but every so often you got to see what the purpose of doing so is and weigh the costs. Now, that's the spiritual Sunday. If you like what you see, of course, by all means, hit like and subscribe. And tomorrow I'm going to do what I can for Motivation Monday. I'm going to try to get this more regular. But in the meantime, if you like what you see, subscribe. And also, there's check out a couple of the links of some books, some material that I'll put up in the show notes that you may want to read about certain things, like the Amazon links that are on there. And yes, I do have an affiliate link on that. But just check it out, and by all means, stay strong and have a powerful rest of the day and upcoming week. Take care.